Fix your credit, girl, get at it, get your bag up.
Hit that gym and get back fine. Go get that degree. Go, girl, focus on me. Unlock potential that you didn't know.
Hello, Jules. Clarissa Louise clocking in. Back with another vlog. No, this ain't even a vlog. This is story time. This a workout story time. Because I'm walking to the park in the heat of the day. It just hit 4 o'clock. Got off of work, came straight home so I can get out here. Bear with me because I'm out here in the heat. I got sunblock on my face because I have a lot of heat damage already from previously working out in the sun, because as y'all know, your girl likes to be outside. I like to get my workouts done outside, and before I knew to put on sunblock, I wasn't. So I was working out every day outside in the heat, and I got a lot of heat damage, sunspots in my face, which I'm pretty sure y'all have seen when I don't have on makeup and stuff, and it's really bad. So I'm trying to prevent that. So I don't know if you're supposed to rub the sunblock in or not, but it had started getting stiff, and I wasn't finna keep on rubbing. But I was trying to get out here and get this over with. So give this video a thumbs up before we get into the video, into the story time. Please like this video because it helps me grow on YouTube, and the algorithm will see that you guys gave this video a thumbs up and then push my video out to reach more people that may be interested in my type of content. And then go ahead and subscribe if you have not subscribed already, right there to the right of the screen. And then right where that subscribe button is to the right, it's a bell right there by it. Go ahead and click that bell, and then click all on the drop down, so that way you'll get all my notifications when I post a short, when I post a video, when I post a regular post in my community. You'll get all my notifications. So go ahead and do those 3 things for me right now. I'll wait. Okay, it really shouldn't have took you that long, but I was trying to give y'all some time. On to the story time. So as you've seen in the title, I'm giving y'all the story time on how my 2-month-old twin son passed away in 2005. And I felt like me being out here working out was going to be good for me to get this story out, instead of me sitting at home, sitting down, talking to y'all while I'm sitting down. I feel like I would have been more prone to being emotional. But right now, since I'm outside, I'm hot, gasping for breath, and holding this water bottle, then I'm kind of I'm multitasking, so I might not get as emotional. Let's see, so I don't hold y'all too long. 2005, so I had my kids. I graduated high school. I'm gonna give y'all a quick backstory on how I even got pregnant with twins. So I graduated high school in 2004. As soon as I graduated, my mom set me up to a community college in my hometown. We got registered, got signed up to do psychology courses, because I've always been into nursing and psychology. I chose not to do nursing because I'm not good in math, and at the time, that school was only going to choose the top 19 people that made the highest score on the math test, on the test period for nursing school. So I counted myself out of that. Yes, I did. And then I chose psychology instead, because I love people, I love serving, and I love learning about how the human mind, body, and spirit and stuff work. Anyway, so meanwhile, I was hanging with the wrong crowd, of course. My mom always been like this uppity type person. She always try to live like the Joneses and stay in suburban neighborhoods and stuff. So all the ghetto-ness that I have and the street-ness that I have did not come from like living and being at bad schools and being put in the wrong. I put myself in the wrong spaces around the wrong people and learned a whole lot of street sense. And I ain't mad at it. Don't get me wrong, I'm not mad at it at all, because that street sense be coming in handy. been coming in handy. So I've been delivered from a lot that I learned, but it still comes in handy. Try Jesus. Okay, moving the light along. So I hope it's not hard for y'all to look at me with this sunblock on. Okay, I met, because I was hanging in the wrong crowd, I was always hanging with people that was older than me. So I had this home girl, and I used to stay with her on the weekends and stuff all the time. We smoke, we chill, we drink, it was a lot going on back then. So I was just a party girl. I really was a party girl back then. That's why I don't do it that much now, because, honey, I've done a lot. So I wound up hooking up with her cousin. And me and him wasn't in no relationship, no nothing. We used to all just chill, drink together. We used to pop our together or whatever. And, we tipsy at night, coming in from the club. Boom, I started linking up with her cousin, this male, of course. And so me and him started messing around. I feel like maybe the first or second time we messed around without protection, I was pregnant. It was about my second ultrasound, because I know they do you a first one. Y'all, this has been 17 years ago, so bear with me on these type of time frames. Went in for the ultrasound. The doctor started moving the thing around. Y'all know how they do. You hear a whole bunch of fluid and stuff moving around. And so he moving and he moving. But this time around, he kept moving. She kept moving. And he was like, I see two. He said, I think I see two babies in here. And I'm thinking he playing around, because doctors like to joke and stuff. Girl, it was two babies in there. When I tell you I was crying, I drove myself to the doctor's appointment, because my parents stayed home with my grandma, because we took care of her too. My whole pregnancy, I took care of my grandmother. I was her private sitter. So the private sitting company paid me to give her meds and take her sugar and all that. Mind you, she passed away a month after my child did, which we'll get to that. So it was twins. I was crying bad. Cried all the way home. Called my mama and them on the phone, boo-hooing. And sometimes, honestly, I feel like, well, not anymore, but in the beginning, when all that happened, I felt like God may have, because when you lose somebody dear to your heart, and especially a child, which a lot of y'all is not going to be able to relate, because you either don't have kids or your child has never passed away, God forbid. So you're not going to know this feeling. All I can do is try to explain it to you the best way I can, with how I felt. And so I used to beat myself up mentally, thinking that because I cried and was acting out the way I was about having twins at such a young age, straight out of high school, had just enrolled to college, I was still young, and I was crying. Two babies at one time. Like, I don't even think I would have been that upset or tripping if it had been just one baby in there. But two babies at one time just kind of blew my mind. I was, what they call it, like traumatized, PTSD or something. And I used to beat myself up about it, thinking that maybe God took my son because of how I was acting out about being pregnant with twins. I don't know. And I know that God don't roll that way, But I was in my head about a whole lot. So, fast forward all the way to the month, April, to be exact. Matter of fact, I got it on my leg. Tomorrow, which I'm just now realizing, okay, y'all bear with me. Okay. Actually, tomorrow is April 28th, and tomorrow is the day that my son passed away in 2005. That's just now dawning on me. So, April 28, 2005 is when this happened. My twins was 2.5 months. I had a boy and a girl, Anijah and Elijah. And I came up with Anijah name first. And then Elijah, because my parents are ministers and stuff, then Elijah just instantly popped up into my head because it also rhymed well with Anijah. And so it just seemed perfect to me. So, okay, so my baby daddy, sperm donor, however you want to say it, me and him was never in no hardcore serious relationship. We would see each other, we wouldn't see each other, and plus he is a drug addict. He's still alive. He live in my hometown. He's not a father to my daughter or whatever, but he was smoking. He do all types of drugs. But he has a really, really bad addiction to PCP, which we called it wet back in the days. I don't know what they call it now. Basically embalming fluid. If you know, you know. People smoke embalming fluids, dip it in cigarettes, and they get them high. And then it kind of make them do crazy stuff and make some people worse than others or whatever. So he smokes that really bad. And he still is addicted to it right now, 17 years of knowing him. Still addicted to that and several other drugs. So he came in one night. He was working. So I had the babies, moved in my first apartment by myself with the babies and everything. And then he used to come spend the night with me sometime because I had just had the babies. And he was much older than me. Well, I think he's like 7 or 8 years older than me. Anyway, so he already had a baby and stuff, a kid and stuff like that before me. But he was coming and staying over with me sometimes because the babies was fresh. And so he came home supposedly from work that night. And he had been smoking the wet, of course, the PCP. He had been smoking, so he was high. And I'm so freaking stupid. Like, another thing I used to beat myself up about is like, Clarissa, why would you let him take your baby? He argued me down and wanted to take one of the babies to go sleep in the living room with him. Because I had the babies in the bed with me, he didn't want to sleep in the bed with me. So he went and made a pallet in the living room. Then we really wasn't on that type of level. No way. Like, we was honestly just partying together and doing the do. And unfortunately, you know, I mean, as a dumbass, doing it unprotectingly at that. And the shit just happened. The first or second time of us messing around. And so it like we literally was not in no freaking relationship. So it wasn't no thing for him to come in and sleep on the floor. Because I wasn't on all that coming around me high off wet. And I wasn't on all that. And I never really wanted to be around him and shit. Like right now, I can't. Like, I will fight him. You know, because he's a drug addict and he acts like one. And they make you, sometimes them type make you want to do something to him. Like slap him a little bit. So, he wanted to take one of the babies. And he took Elijah. I kept telling him, no, leave him alone. He sleep. Leave him alone. They sleep. It was like 4 o'clock in the morning, if I'm not mistaken. We was all knocked out, me and the babies. He insisted. Took my son, went and made a pallet, went to bed. Next morning, I got up. At the time that I get up to feed them, I was going to feed my daughter first because she was in the bed with me. So I went to the living room and checked on the back, checked on Elijah, and I moved him. He was moving around. He was like, you know how when you touch a baby and they sleep, they'll get the like moaning and stuff. And so I knew he was good. I pushed him, you know, adjusted him back on his pillow and fixed his cover and went on. And because I got twins, so I took care of one at a time. So I went to go feed Anijah. So when I get done feeding her, now I'm checking on Elijah. Which, you know, now when I tell this story and I think back on it, I should have just picked up Elijah and started feeding him, because it was, you know, I had already fed his sister. So I should have picked him up and just took him with me and started feeding him. But I didn't. It seemed like he was sleeping so good. His dad back was to him and he was knocked out. So when I went the second time, he didn't move. And so, you know, I picked him up and tried to adjust him like I did the first time. And he still was nothing. He was limp. And And I don't have no experience with CPR or anything like that, but I tried. And you know, it's in the heat of the moment, so I don't even know if I was doing it right, and I don't know how long he had been like that or whatever, but for whatever reason, he wasn't breathing. I was screaming. My baby daddy jumped up and he was, "What's wrong?" And we didn't have no phone at the time. Like, I have really, really been through the struggle, y'all. Like, I got so many story times for y'all. But I didn't have no phone. I think I had a cell phone, but my cell phone was off. And then I don't think he had no phone or nothing. I can't even remember that, because if he had a phone, he should have been able to call 911 on his phone. But for some reason, no, I think he did call. Yeah, he called 911 on his phone because my phone was off. I'm outside screaming. I'm just like, I don't even know how to tell y'all how that felt. It felt like, especially like when the ambulance came and we got to the hospital, and of course they was trying to resuscitate him and bring him back and stuff. And after they had told me, you know, that he was gone or whatever, and then they had let me hold him. Sorry, y'all. Okay, I can do this. They had let me hold him, right? And so they was just letting me spend my last little time with him. And like, honestly, it just like kind of feel like how I feel every time I cry about it. It felt, but it's like 100 times worse than now. It feels like I can't breathe. It felt like literally somebody was, like somebody had stabbed me. And it's like how I'm gasping for air right now. It's like I just was trying to gasp for air and breathe. And my heart was racing. And it just felt like I kept on getting stabbed in my heart and my chest. So then I had to, like, you know, grab myself and try to breathe. And so that's what happened. And I'm probably gonna have to cut this short, but we had a funeral for him and everything. And come to find out, my baby daddy had an insurance policy on him. And the insurance policy was set up that, you know, like everybody that was on the policy, they got a big old family policy with the grandkids, the grandparents, the parents, all that. So every time one of the grandkids had a baby, which was my baby daddy, every time he had a baby, his offspring automatically got put on the policy. And I didn't know about that. So he automatically got $10K off my baby's death. I saw zero of it. Yes, his family did pay for the funeral or whatever, but I didn't get nothing from the $10K. I had to find out from one of his family members that he even had the $10K or whatever from that. And that was that. My son is buried out in the country by my grandmother that passed away right after him a month later. And that's going to be on part 2. And I'll try to dib and dab a little bit more about my healing process and my spiraling process as well on part 2. So what I'm going to do is stop this video, upload it, get it off my phone so I can have some storage. And then since I'm still walking, I'll come on here and do part 2. So y'all don't have to wait for that. And for part 2, I'll tell y'all how my grandmother passed exactly a month later. We buried my grandmother exactly a month to the date. My son passed April 28th, 2005. We buried my grandmother May 28th, 2005. I'll see y'all on the next story time coming up, part 2.
It's time to boss up. Fix your credit, girl, get at it, get your bag up. Hit that gym and get back fine.
Go get that degree, go girl, focus on me. Unlock potential.